Hey, hello everyone. I'm going to be demonstrating how to glaze the tiles that we just waxed yesterday. This is my homemade pure white glaze out of ingredients that I measure and mix together. It's tried and true for me. This color, this with my clay. Again, this is something that makes my homemade tiles special. This is not purchased from a company that makes glazes. This is something that I made from scratch. I learned how to do this from my dad when I was very, very small. And he learned his glazing from a very special school in New York called Alfred University. So, this is a special tool that I made out of a coat hanger. These, I just made this. The one that I made before lasted about 10 years. I still have it, but it's not here with me today, so I made a new one. This is specially designed so that it doesn't damage the surface at all. So, bottoms have been waxed. The sides have been waxed halfway up. Now I'll show you how I do this. So I dunk it in the glaze, let it sit there for about 3 seconds. And then I pick it up carefully. Now I wait. After years of experience, I know this glaze really well. I know how thick it needs to be to get to the look that I have always made. So I wait about 5-10 seconds, and I'm watching as the surface of the glaze, the fresh glaze, starts to dry. I don't want it to be completely dry. I want it to kind of lose that wet sheen look. As soon as it loses that, then I'll dunk it again. And then it's glazed, but we still have to let this dry and clean it. So I'll do some more and let you watch me do it again and point out some more little tidbits. Oh, excuse me, hiccups. Again, dip it in for about 3 seconds. Take it out. Now you'll see occasionally little. This was a clean bucket, so that's a little chunk of residue. The glaze has been screened. I'm going to turn it. I'm turning it so that the hiccups. I'm turning it so that it flows over the surface differently. And what that does, it helps get a more uniform kind of a look. It'll cover up any patterns that had occurred in the first dip. So it's dry now, and I'll dip it again. So those little spots, the little specks you see there, those will melt out. This particular glaze I know well enough where you can have little specks like that. I might give it another mix. This is the first time I've used this glaze since I mixed it, so you can get little specks in this. Let's give it another mix. Now this glaze, if you let this glaze sit here overnight, you'll look at it in the morning and you'll see that it's settled, and there'll be water on the top of it, and then you'll see a kind of a thick sludge about 3 inches. Well, there'll be a level of thick sludge in the bottom, and then there'll be just water on the top because it settles out. So I usually like to mix it. This particular glaze, I'll mix every maybe 5 tiles or so when I'm really going fast. Give it a little mix, make sure all the ingredients are all in solution. See, I still have a couple of those little specks. I think that is I think that's talc, and that will not be a problem. It's not like it'll melt out. So I could sieve it again, but I don't have a sieve here out, and I don't really think I need to, so we'll see. This first batch that we fire in the kiln is kind of a test. So it's about dry. I'll dunk it again. Now when I'm really moving, I'll dunk it once and I'll set it down, dunk another one, set that one down, then I'll pick up the one that I just set down, and I have a rhythm I can get going. Okay, now you'll see here when I pull this out, you'll see why it's important to put that wax on the edge. You'll see it better but you see here the wax has been repelled off the edge there. Now if I were not to wax the edge, the glaze would go right to the base of the tile, and then it would be not only harder to sponge off, but if you didn't sponge it off, you just left the glaze going all the way down to the bottom edge of the tile, then it will probably melt and stick to the kiln shelf. And then not only will the tile break, but also the kiln shelf will be damaged, and other tiles can get damaged. So it's one of the why I stressed in the video talking about the waxing, why that's so important. I don't think that time I spun the tile. I wanted to get to this example. Now this is a tile that has a little crack in the side of it. That's a I'm still learning about this particular shape of tile. This is a brand new die that I made. So there will be a learning curve when it comes to how I should fire them. Some tiles in the past will do that little cracking when I stack them too high in the bisque firing. Sometimes it if I press when I'm pressing the tiles, if I'm using a really wet clay, the wetter the clay, sometimes the better. Sometimes if the clay is more dry when I press. The tile when I'm first pressing the tiles, if the clay is more stiff, sometimes those cracks can make the clay less kind of elastic. So again, this is a new shape of a field tile, new thickness. So there is a learning curve. This is a very hopeful test, I guess I'm doing here today. There. There you go. There's 6 tiles, and the next step we will wash them.